Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Mr. Manfredo. Got another YouTube video here for you today. You might notice this window behind me. I am in a new setting. I'm in my living room in my own house. I actually forgot to record a video for you before I left school on Friday, and so I figured I would just go ahead and do it today on Sunday. As you can see, your little document that we have here today is sentence classification. And so we are going to be going over the four types of sentences. Um, I would imagine you guys probably learned about the types of sentences maybe in fifth or sixth grade, maybe even younger than that. I'm not entirely sure. But if this is just review for you today, then today's assignment should be a breeze for you. You should be able to get it done very quickly. And if you haven't learned them, or maybe you just forgotten them, I know I have a terrible memory. I'm sure some of you do too. We're gonna, just go over them today. I don't anticipate any struggles with some of these questions here, um, but let's just jump right into it. So, the first sentence we're going to look at is a declarative sentence. When you see the word declarative, you should automatically kind of think of the word declare. Essentially, you're just making a statement. So, if you have a declarative sentence, it just makes a statement and it always ends in a period. So, with that being said, we've got some examples. Number one, Amy Tan was born in Oakland, California. Number two, I could not hear Jason. Both of these things are not special. They're not fantastic. They're just statements. They end in a period. And now we will move on. Number two, we have imperative sentences here. Those give us commands or make requests. So essentially, if you have someone telling someone else to do something, that is an imperative sentence. So if I tell you to move across the room, or say you're in Mr. Manfredo's class and he tells you, hey, sit down and be quiet, that would be an imperative sentence because it's a command. Most of these sentences end in a period. Sometimes they will end in an exclamation point, but remember, it has to be a request or a command. The third type that we have here are interrogative sentences. When you see interrogative, you might see the word interrogate inside of it. And if you guys are fans of movies, or maybe you've even heard tales of somebody's military in some other country or something doing something like this, an interrogation is essentially a strict questioning of maybe a captured person, maybe someone that was arrested. They'd be interrogated by the FBI or the police or something like that. So an interrogative sentence asks questions, and they always end in question marks. So if you see a sentence with a question mark, you got to automatically think that is an interrogative sentence. So here's some examples. Number one, when did you return from your camping trip? Camping trip, if I could speak properly. And then number two, did that surfboard cost much? So we have two questions. They end in question marks. We have interrogative sentences here. Finally, number four, we have an exclamatory sentence. When you see exclamatory, you might see the word exclamation in it. And that is good to see because exclamatory sentences always end in exclamation points. It's essentially strong feelings, or maybe you're just expressing something that you're very excited about, and they will end in an exclamation point. So we've got some examples here. Number one, Gabriella won the match. We're very excited for Gabriella. That's our best friend. We're so excited that she won. And then number two, that movie was terrifying. This one is more like Mr. Manfredo. I'm not a huge horror movie fan, but the girlfriend will occasionally drag me to go see them, even though I don't want to. So, those are our four types of sentences. Your homework is real easy. You just have to tell me if each one of these sentences is declarative, imperative, interrogative, or exclamatory. Um, if you struggle, remember this first page is attached for a reason. So you've got some examples up here showing you what each type of sentence looks like. We have our little word tricks that I just taught you. Let me get that off the screen again. That's been happening more and more lately. Maybe I should update my computer. But you've got some examples up here that I'll teach you and kind of model what your homework questions will look like once you answer them. So, like I said, if something ends in a question mark, hint, hint, we have interrogative. If it ends in an exclamation point, it's more than likely exclamatory. But just remember that imperative sentences might end in an exclamation point. If it is serious enough, remember imperative. They have to be commands, though. So just keep those in mind as you go through.